So welcome to your spine-friendly core workout. This core workout is designed specifically for people who deal with osteoporosis. We're not going to do any type of movements that would compromise your spine and potentially cause a fracture to your spine. So you won't see things like crunches or rounding forward or bending forward at the waist. So we're going to do everything. It's back-friendly, and you're going to get in a good core workout too. So let's get started. Go ahead and get down on all fours. I want you to be on your hands and your knees, and your tailbone is going to point out, and make sure you're not bunched up like this, but you've walked your hands out enough and your knees back enough so you can take advantage of the length of your spine. So I want you to hold that belly button area in and point your tailbone out and keep your chest dropped out. We're going to start by just lifting each leg right behind us. And we're just going to gradually warm up your core. And right now we want to train ourselves how to pull our stomach in when we're moving. So that's the key. Don't just let those stomach muscles kind of hang out, but draw them in. Now, if you would like to make this a little bit harder, I'm going to think about the opposite arm. Come back and tap your stomach. So I have my left leg, right hand right there. I'm going to bring it down, and then I've got my right leg, and I'm going to tap my stomach with my left hand. Now my head, I stay looking down. I don't want to pull my head up like that. That's too much curve in the neck. Remember that your spine goes up into the neck, so we're also looking to protect the vertebra up there as well. So let's do two more. Gonna go up. I wanna hold my stomach in. That should remind me to do that. And then one more time here. So we're gonna go up and back down. Now go ahead, get your hands out a little bit wider. Think the width of your mat and walk your feet back. And we're just gonna hold a little bit of a plank. So there should be a straight line from your neck down to your heels. And stomach in and breathe. 4, 3, 2, down to the knees. Just get used to sticking your hips out. Go back to what we call neutral spine. Go ahead and try it again. So lift yourself up. And this is all about stomach staying in, head looking down. 4, 3, 2, and down. So just little warm-up planks, okay? We're gonna do one more. We're gonna be doing planks later on that are a little bit more challenging. So hold this position, pushing up through those hands, abs tightening up more. 4 and 3, 2, drop down. So next up, we're gonna go ahead and just shift the hips back a little bit right there. So this is a back-friendly position because we're really not rounding. We're bending more at our hips. And go ahead and come on up. So next up, go ahead and have a seat on your mat. And then what we're gonna do is kind of lay down on our side. And again, I wanna teach you how to get down in a back-friendly way. So laying down like this, and then roll over. Adjusting yourself through your feet. I'm gonna show you real quick as you're adjusting yourself. A lot of times we just kind of roll down like that, but if you notice, that was a lot of curving of my spine, so I'm trying to avoid that. So get down here, you're comfortable, feet flat on the floor, shoulder blades back. Let's talk for a moment about the top of the pelvis. I want you to tilt that back just a bit into the floor. We're gonna be keeping that there a lot today with the movements. So bring the knees in. I'm just gonna start out with one leg going out, and as that comes in, I'm gonna switch and do the other. Real easy. I want you to go out just enough that it's a challenge to keep your stomach in and your lower back towards the floor, but not going out so far that every time my lower back leaves the floor. It should not. Now my outer shoulder blades are pulling back into the floor here, and I'm gonna have you do one more of each. Last one right here. Now take a little breather, and that's just gonna pull the knees into the chest, keeping our tailbone down on the floor, taking a nice breath in, exhaling it out, straighten up those legs, just hold the thighs for a moment. You're gonna drop your hands, and we're gonna do the same thing now, lowering down to straight leg. So I'm gonna scissor and scissor, moving like my legs are a pair of scissors. Now if this is a little too easy for you, you start a little bit lower like that. But remember, we need to be able to keep the top of our pelvis tilted back into the floor and our lower back pretty much making contact with the floor right now. That's gonna be very, very safe to your back. All right, so in these positions, we're not letting this leave the floor, that low back curve. 3, 2, outer shoulders down, one more time. Now just fold those knees back in real easy. Put your feet flat on the floor. Now feet are a little wider. Let's lift up into a bridge. This is just to kind of give the back a little rest. And as you melt down, just think about little by little through your back. That should feel pretty good. Have both knees come in again. So we make this movement a little harder now. So we're gonna take both legs out and then in. So how far do you go? Well, you're gonna decide. You're gonna listen to your back right there. Can you keep it down? Yep. If it's starting to arch up, you're going too far. Now, as much as I can, I wanna try to draw this area in. So maybe even put your hand in your stomach and remind yourself, try to not let that area pooch out. We're trying to train it to stay in. All of our movements today, we want to challenge our abs without crunching forward and compromising your spine. So we do a lot of these types of movements where we learn to brace as we're moving our legs. All right, so one more. And one more, all set. There we go. So drop the feet down real easy. Take the arms here, reach back. Just want to lengthen out for a moment. Breathe in. Blow it out as you're bringing those knees and hands together. I'm going to straighten my legs. I think this time I'm just going to keep my arms up for a little variety. Now we're going to lower down those straight legs. Hold for a moment. Then back up. Now I know you don't want to hear the broken record, but I need you to keep the top of that pelvis tilted back right here. That low back has not left the floor. And back up. If you start to let that lower back arch off the floor in these movements, we're really putting the spine at a dangerous place if you're already been diagnosed with osteoporosis. We got to treat those vertebrae very, very well and safely. And there are ways that you can safely work out. We just want to do it with the right form. So this time for some variety, we're going to stay here and do little teeny up and down kicks. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to start. I've got 2 more rounds of that. So we're going to lower forward. Relax your shoulders. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up. You're almost there. I know the fronts of the legs are talking. So go forward. And let's scissor. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up. I'm going to have you hold those knees in. Drop the feet down. Let's straighten out our legs. And you can reach your arms all the way back over your head right here. Oh, that should feel great. The only thing I want you to be aware of right now is keep your toes pointing up instead of letting them turn out to the sides. Lengthen, lengthen. It's okay if that low back's coming off the floor a little bit. Just still try to keep the top of your pelvis tilted back so we're kind of training those good habits there. The only problem with exercising with the hat on is it doesn't stay. So bring those feet in, put your hands on the floor. Here's a safe way to get off the floor. Roll over, push yourself up. All right, so we're gonna go back to that plank position, but we're gonna make them a little bit more challenging. So if you're new to planks, be patient with yourself because they take a little bit of while, just a little bit of time to get your strength up. And I'll talk through some strategies as we're doing these. So I'm gonna lay down here and have my elbows under my chest and lift up onto my toes. Now, we have a straight line from our neck down to our heels and our belly muscles are lifted up and in. If this is too much for you, come down for a moment, rest a few seconds, then come back up. Not too much of a break. 4, 3, 2, down we go. So we're just gonna stay here for a few seconds. I don't want you to raise up too much. I just want you down here so we're not getting that spine bending too much. So toes under, lift. Are you tightening up your center? I sure hope so. Breathing throughout. Notice my head is looking down here because the neck and line at the spine is the most important thing you can do with your neck position right now. 5, 4, 3, 2, and down to the knees. Now I'm going to have you scoot the knees in and just kind of shift your hips back. We need a little rest before we do our last one, and I think I'm going to make that our longest one. Come up, get down there. So are you about ready? I'm gonna look at the clock. I want 30 seconds. Here we go. Up. Now if you're on a surface where you're sliding around in your feet, just readjust them every so often. Remember the neck and line at the spine, so you might be looking out the fingertips just a little bit here. Pull your navel back in. Train your abs to stay in. Don't let them drop out. They're already good enough at that. So hold them in, hold them in. How much time we got here? About 5 seconds. 3, 2, and I'm all set, and you are too. So the good news is we're just gonna lay down. So I'm gonna slide back a little bit. Oh, it feels good just to lay down there. You can rest your head on your fingertips,
We're gonna work a little bit of lower back. I definitely wanna get some strengthening in for those muscles today. So lower your hands down at your sides. So first up, we're gonna have you lift up your torso and back down. So I'm just gonna lift the chest off the floor, my shoulders come with me. And I want the arms and the hands to come up as well. You'll see me doing that. And coming up and taking it back down. Now, if you get confused about where do I breathe, well, you could inhale here and you could exhale on the way down. You don't have to do it that way. It just kind of maybe keeps you in the rhythm of things. Now, this set, the feet are staying down. We're going to change that pretty soon. Another reminder about keeping your head down. All right, head goes with the spine. Make sure everything feels comfortable. If you've got a little more oomph in you, give me 3 more higher ones here. Okay, just raise it up a little bit. You should be feeling across your lower back working. And 2. And let's do our last one here. We're going to go up and back down. So place your hands back under your face. A small recovery, and then we're going to add in the legs. So if your back is stronger, it's going to help support the spine. You won't just rely on the bones and how they're lined up, but you're going to rely on the muscles as well. So let's bring the hands at the sides. So here's what we change. We lift the legs up and we bring it down. You might find you're not lifting up quite as high in the upper body, and that's okay. We want to get the fronts of the thighs to leave the floor. If you find this is just getting to be too much on you, keep the legs down for a couple reps, just upper body. And then when you're ready, those legs can join you again. So up and down. Remember, we're looking down the whole time. So lift and down. Remember breathing, taking an inhale here. You can exhale as you take it back down if you like, and then go up again. But the most important thing really is just regular breathing. We're lifting and we're taking it down. Notice we kind of go slow. There's no momentum. All right, so 2 more, lifting your body up. Feeling that lower back work, that should feel really nice. And then one more time, take it up and down. So we're gonna rest again. You can take your fingertips under your forehead. Just go ahead and bend those knees. Bring your heels in close to your hips. Make sure you're feeling good about that. We have one more exercise while we're here. And we're gonna lower down the feet. And we're gonna take your arms up long over your head. I'm gonna think about my left arm shoulder and my right thigh, taking that up together. So we're gonna go up with it and down. And now we do our right arm and our left leg and down. I'm not trying to get up really high, but I don't just lift my arm. I'm trying to get the shoulder up, the chest up ever so slightly. Definitely should feel your back working on this, and then we're adding in kind of the upper back and the posture muscles as well. So up and down. Again, you might want to breathe in as you come up. Exhale as you lower. Stay with me here. And down. Make sure you're getting the front of the thigh coming off the floor. Push yourself here. We have 4 more times. Up and down. I know exercise takes a lot of determination, doesn't it? So last 2 and down. But remember what it's going to get you. Up and down. It's all good. It's all good. So let's come up. All fours position just for a moment here. And I'm just going to do a really slight rounding in my lower back. You barely see that move, right? That's safe. It's not a lot of rounding. It's barely moving. I'm not moving my upper body. I'm not moving my chest. I want you to think about your tailbone. Aim it to the floor. Point it behind you. Just one more time. So little pelvic tilts is what we're doing. All right. So I'm going to have you lay down on one side. We're going to move into something called side planks, because we want to work these oblique muscles, these sides, but we don't want to crunch. So I'm going to go ahead and stack my feet and my elbows right underneath my shoulder. If you're new, I would have you bend your knees and do this on your knees. But if you think you want to start with this, this is what we're doing. Feet out, legs out straight, and we're going to come up. Now this top hand can give you some help. You can also take it away, whatever you need today, whatever kind of strength you have going on today. This is in 4, 3, 2, down I go. So the easy version, I'm going to show you the easier version if you need it on the next one, okay? So we just come up. Notice I'm at my knees now. That's easier. It's not as much load that my body has to hold. You might even be able to take your hand away and put it at your hip. Top shoulder should be back. My head is looking straight on. I'm holding my belly in. 4, 3, 2, and down. Now you're thinking, oh no, there's one more. Yeah, but we're gonna change it just a little bit. Actually, there's 2 more. Okay, but I know you can do it. So we're gonna come up, and I'm gonna have you do little teeny pulses up. We're gonna go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower. If you notice me when I've been doing those, I'm staying up. I'm not lowering down a lot, okay? So let's bring you up. Think about pulsing up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're set. So we do the other side. So slowly take yourself over there. If you decided to do all those with your knees bent, do it that way on this side as well. So my elbow, I'm making sure it's right under my shoulder. Feet are stacked. Maybe if you're bending your knees, you're sliding your feet back. So come up for the hold, first one. This makes it a little easier. Hand away makes it harder, whatever you need. Where's your head? Are you looking straight on? Is your top shoulder back and down? Finally? Yeah. That's a hard one, isn't it? 4, 3, 2, and down. I'll be honest with you, I think I got all the parts of my body lined up pretty well, but my abs are still my trouble spot. So we're gonna come up and hold this, top shoulder back. So be encouraged. If I struggle with it, you know, you might as well. Hold, hold, hold. 4, 3, 2, and down. But we're gonna fight back. All right, so 2 down and then 2 sets of pulses. We're gonna just do the little counts of 8. So we raise it up. I'm gonna stay right here. We're gonna go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, tap down. Oh, just one more set. We're gonna make it. So up, here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, down we go. So go ahead, drop that down. Have a seat. All right, so next up, we're gonna grab a hold of those heavier dumbbells. We're gonna get up on our feet and do our hamstring work. All right, you should have a heavier set of dumbbells in your hands. We've got both of them. We're gonna start with our feet about shoulder width apart and toes pointing forward. I'm gonna have you bend at your hips. So we're just gonna take it down and notice how nice and flat my back is and coming up. So this will be very safe for you to do if you don't round your back. All right, so we're bending at our hips, we're hinging forward at our hips, and we're holding our stomach in. And where should you feel it? You should feel it in the backs of your legs right now. So they stretch, and then on the way up, you're contracting them. Shoulder blades back. Now I'm gonna show you a way to do this that I don't want you to do. See how I start to round? Ooh, that's bad. That's bad. You do not want your back to do that. So we're gonna hold the abs in. We're gonna keep that back nice and straight. Now, if you tend to be really tight in your hamstrings, you just might not be going very far. You stop where the hamstrings stretch. You do not go past that point, all right? So we're gonna go down. My head might be looking down a little bit. I'm okay if you pick your head up a touch with this one. So let's do about 4 more times. I gotta really work at holding my stomach in right here. You probably do too. Now, if you're somebody who's really flexible in your hamstrings and you're going down really, really low, I don't want you to break parallel to the floor, all right? Because if we do that, we stop really working in the hamstrings and we're gonna start to compromise our back. And keep your heels down as well. It's one more thing to keep in mind. So last one right here. And then back up. So let's take a little breather. I'm just gonna turn the other way for a little variety so you can see both ankles. Again, we want our feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointing forward. Don't let those toes turn out to the sides. You're gonna have your shoulder blades set back and together a little bit. So here we go. We're gonna take it down and up. If you've done in many of my classes at all, you notice that I don't go fast. And that's because I don't want momentum to take over your work. Because the muscles don't get challenged as much and you just end up swinging things around and you end up getting hurt. And then you stop doing this altogether, and that's not good. How are your abs? Do you have them in? I like to keep that muscle turned on as long as possible. That's why I tend to go a little slower. I want to be able to contract as much of it as I can during these reps and get stronger. And for some of us, we want to get some of that muscle back that we've lost. So that's another reason I tend to go a little slower, a little heavier with the weights.
How's your breathing? You haven't been holding your breath, okay? So 4 more. Stomach is in. I'm sitting my weight back into my heels on those. Down we go, shoulders back, no rounding, no rounding. All right, 2 more. You should feel those hamstrings stretching and working. All right, we got 1 more time for this set. Stomach held in, breathe, and up. So I want you to walk that off. We're gonna do 1 final set. People say, why do we do hamstrings in a core class? Well, hamstrings kind of influence how the pelvis tilts. And that influences how your back functions, how healthy and strong our back is gonna be if we hold our back with proper alignment and we keep some load off the vertebra, and that helps decrease your risk of breaking or fracturing a bone. So it's all good. Last set, you ready? So take it down and up. Stronger hamstrings also mean usually less knee issues. And so I'm always working the hamstrings. If we're working the fronts of the legs, we gotta work the backs of the legs without a doubt. So going again, hold the abs snug right there. Now, are you listening to your hamstrings? You're not going any lower than they say you should. So if you're starting to sting, you are going too far. And you gotta correct that right away. Good. Check in your shoulders and upper back. I don't want you to round right now. I know you're getting a little tired. And if you're not used to holding your shoulder blades back a lot, it's tempting to round, because that would be the area you don't have a lot of endurance in yet, but you will. You'll build up to it. So down we go. Would you like to know there's only 3 more left? Yeah, we sure would. We're just about done after this. These last 2 we're just gonna stretch and you'll be all set. So lowering. And I'm gonna come back up. 1 more good one, okay? So don't lose your form. And then I'm gonna come back up. Good. I'm gonna get these weights out of the way. I want you to push yours out of the way to a spot that you know they're not gonna be underfoot and you could potentially fall. Let's stretch these out, okay? So the best way for me to do it is to get my heel out and my toes up. And I'm gonna sit back in my hips right here. My hands, they're on my other leg right here to help bear the weight. That'll help keep load out of your spine. Exercising, if you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis, is so important to help you get your bone mass back and to help you prevent falls. Here's the thing, if you do it improperly, all it's gonna do is hurt you. So go ahead and come on up. I wanna switch and do my other foot out. Keep an eye on the clock here so we get just enough time. We're sticking out our hips. I have my toes up. That's gonna deepen the stretch a little bit. And hold on to that. How about your shoulder blades back? Notice we're not rounding any portion of our back right here. I wanna lift this up and in. Yeah, even here during the stretches, seriously. Just a little bit more. All right, clock says you're done with that. So what I'm gonna do on my next one, I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see me. I'm gonna have both sets of toes pointing forward. This foot slid back and the heel is in the floor. What you're gonna do is take the top of your pelvis and tilt that back. Right there is where you should get that. Back with the shoulders, down with the shoulders. Notice we're upright. Don't do this, but I don't want you to arch, okay? It's bad on the spine. We're always looking for really good form, whatever we do. If you read some of the handouts there that you have in your package, we talk about some of the positioning of your spine that you should and should not do. So I'm gonna bring that foot in. I'm just gonna turn, I'm gonna slide my right foot back. Pressing the heel down, we want both sets of toes pointing forward. Top that pelvis, let's have you tilt it back. Right in here, the hip flexors, these are what these are called. You want these stretched out. This is another muscle group. If it's too tight, it affects how your pelvis tilts. That affects what your back does, how it's distributing loads. So we're looking, again, to establish new habits with our posture, with our form, how we hold our body. Just those simple things can help you seriously prevent a fracture in your spine. So it's worth learning how to do. So I want you to let that go. We're gonna take our shoulders, bring it up and around. 1 more time, up and around. And the way you're gonna finish today is take your arms big over your head. So I want you to give me the biggest reach you have. Can you pull your spine up taller? And this would not be a bad thing to do throughout your day, is just to pull up, because we're so used to kind of being slumped. So to finish, I'd like you to breathe in
And then exhale, drop your hands down. And you are all set. So you made it through your spine-friendly core program, and I will see you again next workout. Have a great day.